kumara. My name is Katarina. Let's plantize our world. This is a space where I share my personal life choices and how they impact my well-being. So today I just showed you this kumara, which are sweet potatoes, little plants, and I thought I'll have a quick talk about kumara. We call it kumara here in New Zealand. The rest of the world calls it sweet potatoes. Well, originally they are from Central and South America. So the early Polynesian navigators then brought it into the Pacific, brought the kumara into the Pacific, and in the 13th century it came with the Polynesian migration to New Zealand. The kumara came to New Zealand, Aotearoa, New Zealand. So the kumara, how do they like to grow? They like hot weather. I'm actually sweating, the sun is beaming on me. It's summer in New Zealand. They like that type of weather, sort of temperatures between 25 and 35 degrees. And in the night, they don't like it when it goes below 15. It's not like they die, but they just grow really slow. So they can be both. So if you grow them in a cooler climate like myself, I sort of live at the edge of where you can grow kumara. I'm near Christchurch, the South Island of Aotearoa. But I live at the beach, so we don't have frosts, or almost no frosts. And they're coming late, and it gets quite hot in summer here. So I can grow them here, but they're not, by all means, they're not perennials, so they will not survive the winter. But I'll just plant them new, just grow some new slips like that, and plant them again. So kumaras are quite different to potatoes. Potatoes create tubers, actual tubers, as kumara, they grow roots, and the roots swell on at certain spaces into tubers. So they're quite different. Also, you can eat the greenery of kumara. This, you can eat it in your salads or cook it like spinach. So don't do that with potatoes because that's toxic. They're full of vitamins, minerals, all sorts of nutrients. They have protein. They have nutrients like micronutrients like beta carotene, which is like the same as in the carrots. They have iron, and they have no fat and no gluten. So they're a beautiful plant. Some iwi associated, or iwi as a tribe, are the tribes in New Zealand, associated the kumara with peace and prosperity. And the deity that is responsible for the cultivated foods and specifically for kumara is called Rongo. So there you have a little bit of an insight into our kumaras here in New Zealand. I don't want to dwell too long on it, but we are now diving into our second lifestyle pillar, and that is the one I really, really like, and it's food. I think a lot of people like it. I think I could talk a whole day on this topic, but I try to keep it somewhat short as not to be overwhelming. And we don't need to know all the exact details and every research about nutrition to cook some foods for us which are good for us. So let's say we would have time, and we won't, and we wouldn't even have the capacity, well, I wouldn't, to look at all of the nutritional research that has been done over the last 50 years and published. Good research, reliable, reputable research. If we would look at it and ask the question, which foods are the best to prevent and possibly reverse or improve chronic diseases? When I speak about chronic diseases, I mean heart disease, diabetes, what else is there? Cancer, certain cancers. So which ones would be at the top of the list? Well, here it is. Here's the list. Number 1, it would be vegetables and fruits. That's what the research says. And within the vegetable and fruit group, we have leafy greens. They are at the top of the list of vegetables and fruits. They are highly nutritious, full of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, fiber, you name it, they have it. And then cruciferous vegetables. Cruciferous vegetables are like broccoli, bok choy, radishes, kale, what else is there? Cauliflower. Yeah, these are the cruciferous vegetables. They have something really unique, which is called sulforaphane. This is a cancer-fighting and compound, and quite a lot of research has been done on this. Now, in order to get the full benefit of just that specific compound called sulforaphane, you need to eat it raw. So what you can do is you can cook your broccoli, because you might not be at that stage where you can eat a whole head of broccoli and be able to digest it. So you can just cook the broccoli and then have another cruciferous vegetable just a little bit with it, because that will be enough to be able to activate the sulforaphane within your body. So let's say you ate half a head of broccoli, and with it you might have some finely chopped rucola. What is it called in New Zealand? Rocket. Have some finely chopped rocket, or some finely chopped cabbage, or some finely chopped kale or something raw, and that will do the trick. Or you can put some mustard seeds with it. That's another trick. Number 3 is berries. Under the section vegetables and fruits, berries are amazing. All berries. They're full of antioxidants and they're anti-inflammatory. So these 3 things, these 3 fruit and vegetables are at the very top of the list. But any vegetables is good, so don't shy away. Then the second category is legumes. Legumes, what are legumes? They're the lentils, the peas, the soybeans transformed into tofu and hummus and tempeh, and all the beans, the kidney beans, the borlotti beans, the black beans. I think there are hundreds of beans, and all of them are absolutely fantastic. They regulate blood sugar, they lower cholesterol, they're full of fiber, which is feeding our microbiome. They're called prebiotics, stuff that we don't digest in our stomach and use for our body and cell nutrition. It just goes straight through into our intestines, but that's where the microbiome lives. And these little creatures need to be fed, and they're eating prebiotics. They're eating complex starches, and they're eating resistant starches. So eat your legumes. They're a wonderful, wonderful source of protein. Then number 3 on our list are the whole grains. There's a focus on whole. So these are like oats, quinoa, rice, millet, sorghum, barley, amaranth. There are so many beautiful grains that are out there, and they all have their very unique mineral and vitamin profiles. Each one is a little bit different, and each one has different types of fiber and complex carbohydrates which lower your blood sugar. So not lower your blood sugar, but when they're entering our blood, it doesn't go in as a big hit of sugar, but they get buffered gently added to our blood. So they're a wonderful, wonderful addition. And then the smallest little portion at the end is nuts and seeds. These are our healthy fats. We don't need massive amount of oils. Oils are actually a highly refined food. Let's look, for example, at olive oil. It's okay to have a little bit of olive oil every now and then if you are a perfectly healthy person who is a normal weight. But a lot of people try to lose weight, and so oil is a very poor choice because it has lost almost all its minerals, all its vitamins. The fiber is out. So you can eat olives. Have some olives instead of olive oil, and you get all the fiber and the mineral and proteins and all the goodness as a whole package, like Mother Nature has designed it. It's always best if you eat as close as possible the food that we harvest as the way it was grown. The more we refine it and take things away, and the less understandable it becomes for our body. So when we put it in our bodies evolved on natural foods. We did not make chips and things like this in our evolution of humanity. So the body is still understanding whole foods the best. So these are our healthy fats, and our healthy fats come from linseeds or flax seeds. Grind them up and sprinkle them over your breakfast. Chia seeds are wonderful. You can make your chia puddings. You can Google that. It's very easy to make. Walnuts are pretty good, and almonds. So we have our essential fats, which are the omega-3s and the omega-6s. That essential means we have to eat them. We can't create them ourselves in our body, so we eat them through our food. What happens at the moment in the world, we are very high on omega-6s, which is in the processed foods and in a lot of the animal foods. They're quite high in omega-6s. We do need them, but we need them in very little portions, and we do not need to worry about them because we get them. And but we're very low in the omega-3s, which are the ones that are anti-inflammatory. So omega-6s are inflammatory, and we do need the inflammatory system in our body, but what we need even more is the anti-inflammatory. And so these nuts and seeds in its whole form have a lot of omega-3s, so they are wonderful. Okay, so we look at all of these categories. Now, this is all nice and dandy, but how do we translate that into a plate of food? So at lunch, I made a little video for you on how a plate could look and how much of each we should eat. So here we go, enjoy. So here is what we talked about and what it could actually look like translated into food on a plate. Half of it should be, or a little bit more than half of it, should be vegetables and fruits. Fill it up. Pick your favorite ones. I have chosen some tomatoes from my garden, a bit of lettuce from my garden, a bit of kimchi. I like a bit of kimchi. That's an extra bonus, like sauerkraut and kimchi, those fermented foods. Then I have here raw cabbage, which I massaged with a little bit of balsamic vinegar. And I got a handful of nuts, which are the healthy fats. Then I got some beans from my garden, some kumara, sweet potatoes, and the leafy greens. These are Swiss chards or silver beet. And then the other half is divided into a protein source, which can be, well, as we said, tempeh, beans, lentils, you name it, pick your favorite one, and then one whole grain. I have picked
quinoa for this plate, but you can choose whatever you like, from oats to rice, whatever you like. I group my starchy vegetables, I lump them in like starchy vegetables are considered potatoes, kumara, pumpkin, those type of vegetables. They have a bit more starch, and I lump them in with my vegetables. So there you go. This is what a plate could look like for lunch and for dinner. And breakfast, I usually have a big portion of grain and a big portion of protein and some fruits. Go for it.
Okay, so this is it. Now you know how to eat for longevity and well-being. I will see you next time. Mark et moi.